Such a pretty decoration should be at the center of the motif to respect the symmetry. I heard a faint sound as if something was unlocked. From Mr. Adam Flint, Royal Bank, Eastfield Road, Andover, to Mrs. Alice Asher, 5 Bishops Road, Andover. Dear Mrs. Asher, further to your request of 12 February 1935, I have informed my superiors of your wish to apply for a loan to acquire the lease of the shop you rent from Mr. Fairfax. Despite the seriousness of your case, I regret to inform you that your request has been denied. The amount of your personal contribution, £11, is not high enough and represents too small a part of the final transaction. I remain at your disposal for any questions. Adam. Mrs. Asher's meager savings were not enough for her to own the tobacco shop, but will largely cover her funeral costs. Medicine. Laudanum-based cough medicine, Mrs. Asher, and Dover Morley Laboratory, London. It's strange to find such an elaborate medicine from a leading London laboratory in the home of such a modest woman. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The motive is definitely not financial gain. There is no sign of a struggle, and the till has not been forced or empty. I think I've looked everywhere here. Let us see if I can find any more information in the shop's surroundings. I've finished with this subject.
£4 a letters, a lovely large letters, £4 only.
This woman appears to be a smoker. She's a big smoker. She must have been a customer at the tobacco shop. A bottle of poor quality vinegar. The smell could awaken the dead. Did you know Alice Asher well?
And for starters, who are you?
I'm Hercule Poirot, the detective.
You're foreign, that's for sure, with your accent and your odd way about you. And you're here about Alice's murder, I suppose. Well, I've nothing to say to you.
Did you speak to the victim yesterday?
No, I never saw her.
Please try and help me, madame.
Why should I help you? For your beautiful moustache? Heh. Come on, move along now. You're scaring away my customers.
Please, do not be ridiculous. I know that Alice Asher bought strawberries from you yesterday.
Well, you know more than I do, then. Run along now. I have work to do.
Hey, Poirot. Is the greengrocer causing trouble? I'll sort her out.
No, please, leave her, Chief Inspector. I'll get her to talk later.
I found the victim's niece. She's waiting for you in the back of the shop.
Thank you, mon ami. I'll question her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Mrs. Asher was killed here. The absence of marks in the shop and the regular shape of the blood stains indicated beyond a doubt. Jap had the body removed out of respect for the victim's niece. His attention is commendable. Is her grief sincere? She appears to be very upset. She's dressed in mourning. She looks fragile. You were very fond of your aunt, am I right?
She was the only family I had since my mother died.
Your aunt did not have any children, is that correct?
No, she was separated from her husband.
What do you think about Franz Asher, your aunt's husband?
He never left her alone. Poor aunt. She used to drop by all the time and make a scene.
Was your aunt afraid of her husband?
He shouted a lot, but she wasn't afraid of him. Why, he used to slink away when she turned on him. He was afraid of her, if you like.
Did your aunt enjoy good health?
She had a bad throat, but she was well cared for by a doctor in London.
Does Franz Asher work?
All he's done for years is drink and gamble, but he used to be a very good cabinet maker.
What does he live on?
My aunt used to give him 5 shillings a week.
Did Franz Asher extort this money from her?
No, no. She didn't let him intimidate her. She gave the money quite willingly. He was her husband. She couldn't leave him with nothing.
I understand. You have been of great assistance, mademoiselle. Please take this young lady home.
My pleasure.
Well, this Franz Asher does not seem to be quite so dangerous as Jack says. And since Alice Asher gave him money regularly, it was not in his interest to kill her. Mrs. Asher lived very simply.
We have to wait for him to sleep it off. He's all yours, Poirot. There are a few things I need to check.
There must be some way of sobering him up.
I wonder what his wife used to do. He must have scared the customers away.
He's not in any condition to be questioned. I have to find a way to sober him up. It's Alice Asher's notebook. Ah, that's interesting. It probably contains information about her Bodley. The fruit seller has debts too. She will probably be more cooperative thanks to this piece of information. Mary Drower was telling the truth. Mrs. Asher regularly gave money to her alcoholic husband. A box of new stockings. He's not in any condition to be questioned. I have to find a way to sober him up. There are cigarettes packets in a mess on the shelf.